On January 24, 2016, WWE had their annual show called the Royal Rumble for another year. But this wasn't a normal Royal Rumble, as Roman Reigns had to defend his world title with the other 29 participants. One of those participants was AJ Styles. He was the third entrant, and everybody knew him with his three-word catchphrase that was plastered on the screen: "I am phenomenal." A man who didn't have to say a word and everybody instantly knew him. Now people may still know his name and those infamous three-word catchphrase, but I don't think his WWE career was close to phenomenal. I think his WWE career is in a downward spiral and quite sad, to say the least. Like I mentioned before, AJ Styles debuted in the Royal Rumble, which was one of the best debuts in WWE history. This was quite bizarre considering that anybody who came into the company had to go through WWE's developmental brand in NXT. But that showed that WWE had big plans for AJ, even if that means he got to skip the important step in the process. And that became true as he was pushed to the moon, starting a feud with John Cena. To some, just like myself, this was a dream match. It felt like it was the top guy from TNA/Indies versus WWE. And this was probably one of the best feuds I've ever seen. If you haven't seen it, just go back and watch because it absolutely was phenomenal. Personally, my favorite match was the Money in the Bank one, but that's just my opinion. Anyways, after the feud, WWE decided to put him in a feud with Dean Ambrose and James Ellsworth, and this was the most funnest and fun feud that involved AJ Styles. This actually made SmackDown the better show at the time, and that just proved that AJ Styles can do whatever and make it be good. In this feud, AJ Styles captured the WWE title for the first time in just half a year of being there. This cemented him to having one of the best rookie years in WWE since probably Brock Lesnar in 2002. Unfortunately, things started to go downhill with AJ as he lost the WWE title in an Elimination Chamber match, and then started a feud with Shane McMahon. The feud with Shane wasn't bad, it just sucked how AJ was on such a high to losing his title to now being in a feud with Shane, out of all people. Shortly after that, he then went after the United States Championship, which Kevin Owens was holding. They proceeded to have a match where AJ ultimately lost, and this started a hot potato as AJ won it at a house show just to lose it a couple weeks later, just to win it back in a triple threat match days after that. His title reign was short-lived as he lost it again to Baron Corbin in a triple threat match, ending his 75-day reign. After the whole United States Championship debacle, Styles found his footing and inserted himself back into the WWE Championship picture, which was held by Jinder Mahal. Yeah, I don't really need to go into that. He actually defeated Jinder to capture the title once again, and this was on SmackDown, which hasn't happened since 2003. This replaced Jinder in the champion versus champion match at Survivor Series against Brock Lesnar, which I think was a really good decision on WWE's part. No offense to Jinder, I'm sure him versus Brock would have been good. I'm sure AJ Styles would win, right? Wrong. He lost. But at least he was WWE champion. AJ Styles kept giving us dream match after dream match as he and Shinsuke would battle at WrestleMania, as Shinsuke won the Royal Rumble that year. Unfortunately, the fans' expectation for this match ruined it as we all expected more. I guess Shinsuke was mad too, as after AJ won, we would get the infamous low blow from Shinsuke, which turned him heel and furthered the feud further. This feud was very notorious as it was just two dudes fighting to see who got to low blow the other person first. That's all I remember from the feud. Kinda sucked, but this would solidify AJ as the longest reigning WWE champion in SmackDown history. After the feud, AJ would start a feud with Samoa Joe, which gave us that infamous Wendy meme. This feud was carried by Samoa Joe as he gave us really good promos and actually gave us a reasonable opponent against AJ. AJ would retain his rematches against Joe in a Hell in a Cell, and Super Showdown, and Crown Jewel, thus ending the feud. AJ would then enter a feud with Daniel Bryan At this point, Styles had held the title for a full year, being the 8th guy to hold it for an entire year, which you know what that means. AJ Styles' reign would come to an end on November 13th episode of SmackDown Live, where Daniel Bryan captured the WWE title over Styles, turning heel, logoing him in the process, ending the title reign at 371 days. I knew nobody saw that coming. I remember seeing that and was so confused, but was also very intrigued of where it would be going. Maybe AJ should invest in a cup, as that would be his biggest weakness. Following the loss, Styles called for a rematch and became unsuccessful to regain the title back. He kept getting rematches, but he ultimately lost every one, and then went into a feud with Randy Orton as he got eliminated by him in the Elimination Chamber match. He won the feud but got injured in the process and then got drafted to Raw. After that, AJ would find him earning the shot to face Rollins for the Universal Championship, but lost once again, and found himself going after the United States title again. I think there's a pattern going on here. He would beat Ricochet for the title, but lost it 134 days to Rey Mysterio. This is actually a good thing, well, for me, because he then started a feud with The Undertaker, and they would have a match at WrestleMania. Not only was this Undertaker's retirement match, but this was one of the best matches on the card, and it main evented that year's WrestleMania. Some were comparing him to Shawn Michaels, as he gave Undertaker one of the greatest matches of his career, like Shawn did. After that, AJ would disappear for a bit, then come back and won the Intercontinental Championship, but that was short-lived, as that only lasted 70 days. He then aligned himself with a bodyguard named Omos, and this is when some people felt like he was getting underutilized and underappreciated, as he just didn't feel as special as he did his rookie year and even months before when he faced The Undertaker at WrestleMania. A lot of people wanted him to be in the main event. He did earn title shots, but never won anything until WrestleMania 37, when him and Omos would win the tag team titles from the New Day. This would make AJ the 22nd Grand Slam champion and the first ever person to become TNA and WWE Grand Slam champion. But of course, after beating records and establishing himself, WWE decided to take the belt off of them and then had them lose to RK Bro, ending their 133-day reign. At this point, it felt like every time AJ Styles would be on top and establishing himself, WWE would pull the rug right underneath him and have him lose for no reason. Omos saw that and attacked Styles, as he felt like he was the weak link in the team, thus turning him face again. Omos was right, as this started a losing streak for AJ, as he couldn't defeat Edge, Seth Rollins, or even The Miz and Ciampa. He would then be in a feud with the Judgment Day, as he would be getting attacked each week, and that prompted him to look for backup as the OC returned to challenge the Judgment Day to a match at Crown Jewel, which they lost. He then would get injured once again, just to come back to try and win the new heavyweight championship, just to lose again. And honestly, nothing much happened after that. AJ Styles' career had some good highs, but more lows. Just recently, he came back, and it kind of felt like his lone wolf evil ways AJ Styles that he did in TNA in 2014. But he ultimately lost the pin in the Fatal 4-Way match against Randy, Roman, and LA Knight. And I don't see what more you can do with AJ, as he's only getting older and is planning on retiring soon. Regardless, even though his WWE career wasn't so phenomenal, AJ will still go down as one of the greatest professional wrestlers of all time. There's no doubt about that.